Welcome back to another review. It's been a while since I've done one, and the reason is because the first 30, 40 videos I hammered out really fast. I think I did a good job. It's just there's a lot of stuff that I did review that I wanted to contemplate on a little longer. Maybe give a more insightful review. I think they're about 5-7 minutes long. The last one I did was on Led Zeppelin, and that's one that, if you haven't seen that review, check it out. If you know the band, you probably might learn some tidbits because I'm a massive Zeppelin fan. But today I'd like to talk about, if you watched my previous video, I just did a little hint of what I was going to do. And that's on Motley Crue. Now, a couple guys at work have been asking me, why haven't you done Crue yet? Well, I didn't get to the M's, but I'm going to jump ahead and get to Motley Crue because their relevancy in rock and roll music, particularly in the 80s, was huge. Very, very big. And I'll go into that in more detail later. But Motley Crue, Los Angeles band, got together. And if you've seen the movie The Dirt, there's not going to be a lot here that you're not going to know. But I'll give you my personal take and my opinion on them as a band and individual players. Bunch of misfits got together. Nikki Sixx wasn't doing great on his own as a bass player. Got together with Tommy Lee, the drummer, and kept on looking. Found Mick Mars, who was older than them by about 12, 15 years, somewhere around there. Anyway, and Vince Neil. What can you say? Amazing frontman. At least he used to be. He sucks ass now, but he was a great frontman. So Motley Crue, I think about 1980, 81 they got together, came out with their first album, which I have here actually. Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. Great album. Need the specs now. One sec. Came out in 81. Now, Too Fast for Love actually is a really great premiere album. And I think there's a few reasons for that. One, Vince Neil was from a cover band before this, and when you play in a cover band and you play cover band tunes, you kind of get a feel for what good music is, what flows, and I think he was good at that. Mick Mars, excellent guitarist, particularly the heavy metal genre. Now, why do they call it LA metal? Well, because it was a unique style of rock and roll, a unique style of metal that they came up with, and Mick Mars was a huge part of that. Just the sound of his guitar, it was sounded like a razor, and it's kind of unique. I say that because their music really cuts into you. It's heavy, it's hard, it's brash, it's in your face. It's almost what punk should have been, I think, in that respect. But they had it all going on in that first album. Obviously, Too Fast for Love is a great song. But Live Wire's on here as well. Probably my favorite on this one is Live Wire. But a great opening album. The next album they came out with was Shout at the Devil, which was their masterpiece. I don't think they've ever achieved great rock and roll like that on another album. They certainly got more top 40. They certainly became a little more mainstream. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some of their later stuff was great. Dr. Feelgood, Kickstart My Heart, great tunes. But Shout at the Devil, which I have on CD, not an album, is a great place to start. I mean, it's one of those albums where there's not really a bad song on it. For what it is, for what it started, and what did it start? With Shout at the Devil, people really stood up and took notice of this kind of theater of music. Now, there was glam rock before Motley Crue. I think T-Rex was into the glam thing, and David Bowie, that kind of stuff. So that was nothing new, but to be as badass as they were, with long hair and hairspray and like eyeliner and stuff, it was kind of cool, it really was. I saw them live later. I didn't see the Shout at the Devil tour. I think I was about 12 or 13 when that came out, so no way Mom was going to let me go to that. But great album, and you all know the songs on it. It's a great album. Moving on from that, they slid a bit. I don't think that Motley Crue's next one, Theater of Pain, was really a great album, save and except for Home Sweet Home, which I know is on here. Louder Than Hell actually isn't a bad song, And Smoking in the Boys' Room, well, that was a hit for them, but that wasn't their song. It was Brownsville Station, 1963, 64. Anyway, so they kind of slid on that one. And of course, they went through a lot of turmoil. Vince Neil was charged with vehicular manslaughter. He killed his buddy in his car when he was drunk, idiot. And that was the drummer from Hanoi Rocks. His name was Basil, forget the last name. But yeah, so a lot of tragedies were going on. Now, nobody went to the excess of partying like Motley Crue. You can talk about the legends of Van Halen, sure, why not? Led Zeppelin, the Stones, they all did it, but nobody did it as big and as hard and for as long as Motley Crue. They snorted, they drank, they fucked, they were just the most rank band to ever come to your town. And that's why their concerts were great. And that's why a lot of people love Motley Crue. Now, I talked about Mick Mars and Vince Neil. Nicky Sixx, bass player. What can I say about Nicky? He's a great bass player. He, when he started that band, he really had a vision, and it came to light. And I couldn't be happier for the guy. It's unfortunate he was sticking needles in his arms. I know he went through a lot of pain growing up, but don't choose to do drugs, kids. But he's a great bass player. But for me as a drummer, I gotta say, the real talent in that band was Tommy Lee. It wasn't that Tommy Lee was one of the best drummers in rock, because he wasn't. There was a lot that were better, I believe. But how he played fit in with the music of Motley Crue. There's a lot of really cool offbeat hi-hat stuff that he did, lots of cowbell, lots of really cool things that he did in the kit that blended in well with what they did. Now you listen to Shout at the Devil, a song like Red Hot, that thing starts off red hot. It is a screaming entry to a rock and roll song. Fantastic. For me, I like Tommy the best. I think if I was going to have any life as a rock star, it would be Tommy's. So yeah, excellent band. Now after they came out with, I think it was Dr. Feelgood after this one, Theater of Pain, which was a great album. I enjoyed it, but you could see that well, they still had a bit of that old edge, but it was starting to go by that time. And then after that, with Vince leaving and a new singer coming in, that sucked ass. But when Vince got back together with him, it was great. But then Vince got super fat and he couldn't sing and he forgot all the words. And I had friends that wanted me to go see the Rat Poison Motley Crue concert. No, I'll pass. I don't want to see that. I enjoyed them back in the day. But Motley Crue, what can I say, man? They were a scene, and they started a lot of trends with the outfits and with the makeup and all that kind of stuff. Now, it's spawned a whole whack of bands like Poison and Warrant and I don't need to list them. And all these bands probably had like one or two good songs. Motley Crue had a lot. They had a lot of good songs. They're a talented band, and I missed those shows. They were a lot of fun. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review. I don't know who's coming up next, but if you have any requests that you want me to do, leave a comment and I'll do it. Okay? Peace in the Middle East.